Jordi Visser just dropped a thoughtful take on Bitcoin, saying the crypto market is entering a true distribution phase while AI and stablecoins reshape global finance. But what he said about Bitcoin, inequality, and the next financial system might surprise you. Let's watch this.
Well, I think the concept of the IPO distribution, which I feel very strongly about, just in terms of thinking about what's been going on this year and just going back and putting it in the context of assets. And I think that's the one thing, whenever I speak with the community and I hear the frustration, there's always some correlation or some part of the asset market that fits into Bitcoin. And I mean, this goes with any IPO in general, meaning you can't separate the market from the asset. And in the case of Bitcoin, let's leave it alone as not crypto. Let's treat it as a financial asset. So the bond market's been garbage, which we know about. But I think if you break down the parts that are relative for Bitcoin and you go back and you go, okay, except for Bitcoin, what's actually worked over the course of the last 4 years inside the crypto space? The altcoins they're still not up to the highs as an index as they were back in 2021, 2022. And if you look at similar markets to the altcoins, you get into the VC world, you get into the private equity world, you get into the private credit world, you get into the commercial real estate world. All of those have been under some form of distribution and markdown for a while. So in theory, altcoins have actually done better. Bitcoin's obviously gone up during that period. So I just think whether it's 100 grand, whether it's 110, whether it's 95, whether it's 90 at this point, everyone needs to take a pause, take a deep breath. If you're in this for the trading side, there's still more selling that needs to happen. If you believe the numbers and you believe that about 10,000 people own about 33% of Bitcoin, you throw out Satoshi's number, you're still dealing with, 30%, 28% of $2 trillion. So if there was a true distribution, which I think there will be, I don't understand how it's hard for people to imagine that if you put $1 million into Bitcoin 11 years ago, I mean, you've gotten 1,000 times. You don't want to have 80% of your net worth in one asset. And so I think the distribution is happening. I really think people should go back and look at what happened after the NASDAQ bubble in early 2000 and how long it took. I mean, it took a decade to get back to the prior highs.
Now, are you worried at all about Bitcoin sitting at $100,000? It went to, 125. I think everyone was very excited. We're down now, 25% to 100K. I think I see a bifurcation in the market sentiment wise. Some people will tell you, hey, this is just consolidation right at that 100K level. And it's kind of setting a base to go back to 125 and maybe even higher through the end of the year. You still got, the Tom Lees of the world who are going out and saying, kind of higher price targets through 2025. On the other hand, there are some really smart kind of crypto native type investors who say, hey, that's it for the cycle. We're going back down. I'll get excited again when Bitcoin is, 50, 60, maybe $70,000. How do you decipher between those two different viewpoints?
Well, this gets back into what I said. So I'm a macro person that spends my time thinking about what the world's going to look like in 5 years. So AI will continue to do two things for Bitcoin and for crypto that just keep me in the exact same path. And then I'll get into just kind of the near term things that I think people should be looking at as part of this cycle. On the one side, AI is going to drive massive amounts of dollars into the new financial guardrails. So I don't think you can say Bitcoin and not connect it back to the innovation that will be happening. There's a reason why historically stablecoin market cap was very correlated to Bitcoin. So if the market cap was going higher in stablecoins, you'd expect it to be happening in Bitcoin. Well, now we have the market cap going higher, but Bitcoin's not going higher. And I think eventually that will normalize and people realize that the more volume and dollars that are going into stablecoins, the more that is the same function of what Bitcoin served. One of the things that happened with stablecoins, and I've listened to a lot of Brent Johnson in particular, if you haven't had him on.
Milkshake theory,
exactly. Well, he's recently done a report on stablecoins. And I think in a world where most people in Bitcoin say the dollar needs to weaken, he's actually making the argument on stablecoins that stablecoins are going to serve the purpose of something that I believe that initially Bitcoin was thought of. And that could mean the dollar goes higher and Bitcoin goes higher. And I think people have to separate these correlations. So I'm a big believer that the innovation that's coming from stablecoins, the network effects that are coming, the need for dollars to flow in the space eventually from the VC world, once they're freed up from what's gone on, will keep the innovation going. But you have to remember that the other part that we've talked about this entire time, and now we've seen with the election in New York City, the job losses or the job pressure that comes from artificial intelligence continues the main theme that I always believed in Bitcoin. So when I came to the conclusion in my mind that Bitcoin was a part of the endgame, I've referenced Joseph Schumpeter here every single month that we've spoken. Creative destruction, he forecasted that eventually we will get to socialism. Okay. It doesn't have to be at the countrywide level, but the reason that socialism becomes something is because people start believing that they need to have money handed to them. And that's because of the inequality that reaches a point that people want. They want fairness. Bitcoin is at the end of the day represented to me a new system where the democratization of a whole bunch of things happen. And the part of the democratization that goes on is in education. That comes with AI. AI and crypto are both democratizing forces, in my opinion, and they match up at the very end. So there has to be a new system.
All right, let's break down what's really happening with Bitcoin right now, because the noise is getting loud, the narratives are getting messy, and a lot of people are forgetting how markets actually work. Everyone's staring at this move from 125,000 back to 100,000 like it's the end of the world. But if you step back for 2 seconds, this is not some mysterious collapse. This is distribution big wallets trimming after a decade of ridiculous gains. You put $1 million into Bitcoin 10 or 11 years ago? That position didn't 5 times or 10 times. It went 1,000 times. Nobody on earth keeps 80% of their net worth in one asset after a move like that. So yes, long-term holders are taking profits, and that's normal. That's what happens in every asset class. And honestly, look at history. After the dot-com bubble, the Nasdaq took 10 years to reclaim its highs. People forget that because social media cuts our attention span down to 10 seconds, but that's how markets behave. So right now, Bitcoin isn't broken. It's doing exactly what a $1 trillion asset should do during a distribution phase. Now here's where the split happens. Half the market says, relax, this is just consolidation around 100,000. We're building a base for a new run. The other half says, cycle's done, wake me up at 60K. Both sides sound smart, but they're operating on totally different time frames. Traders want volatility. Macro thinkers? They're looking 5 years out, and on a 5-year timeline, nothing has changed. Because the bigger story here isn't even Bitcoin, it's AI. AI is reshaping the entire financial system, and the world needs new rails, faster payments, digital dollars, programmable money, and assets that move value globally. Stablecoins are exploding in market cap, and historically, Bitcoin follows that growth. Right now, that correlation has temporarily broken. That won't last. Liquidity always finds its way into the hardest asset in the ecosystem, and that's Bitcoin. And the stablecoin story is even bigger than people realize. Brent Johnson just laid out this wild but extremely logical view that stablecoins might actually push the dollar higher and Bitcoin higher at the same time. That breaks every old-school macro rule, but this is a different world. AI plus crypto is creating new behaviors and new demand that simply didn't exist before. And here's the part most people are ignoring. AI is already putting pressure on jobs. It's creating real inequality, real fear. And whenever that happens in history, societies shift. People start looking for systems that feel fairer and more democratized. Bitcoin fits perfectly into that long-term endgame. It's not just a price, it's a response to everything happening. Automation, currency debasement, geopolitical stress, and massive technological disruption. So yeah, if you're here for a quick flip, you're going to feel every wobble. But if you're here for the long-term thesis, nothing about this drawdown changes anything. This is normal. This is healthy. This is how adoption curves look before they go exponential.